Muy buenas tardes, LULAC. Muy buenas tardes, good afternoon. LULAC is in the house. Bienvenidos from every corner of America, from every state, cada región, de todo corazón. We receive you, we love you, and you have quite a program ahead of us in the next few moments. You know, this event has grown beyond anything we could have expected. We apologize that we could not accommodate every single person who wanted to come into this event. De todo corazón, discúlpenos que no anticipábamos tantas personas que querían acompañarnos esta tarde. Pero les enviamos a ellos el más sincero respeto. The young people, we're so happy you're here. Will all the students in the house stand? Where are the jóvenes? From California, from Illinois, from Texas. Where are the students? Stand. I want to see the young people in the house. I want to see the future of LULAC. ¿Dónde están? I know you guys are already eating over there, but I want to see you. There you go. There you go. From the fields of California to the East Coast, from Florida to Washington State, aquí están los jovenazos. There you go. Gabriel Portugal is in the house. Eso. So again, I wanted to begin with an apology that we did not know how many people would want to come witness history today. And of course, we have Dolores Huerta with us today. Un aplauso para la gran Dolores Huerta. Thank you. This event is to honor las mujeres de LULAC. But we also have una costumbre in LULAC that I would be remiss if I didn't open with that. Will the presidents, the national presidents of LULAC, present and past, please stand? Los presidentes are in the house. Los presidentes that are in the house, Héctor Flores, Domingo Garcia, Roger Rocha, Margaret Moran, Mr. Oscar Moran. We welcome all the presidents. Gracias. And of course, Roman is going to be up here in a moment. We have a very exciting program, but we begin first, as is the protocol of LULAC, an organization that really loves this country and stands patriotically with the values of the United States of America. Please help me welcome, to get us started with the LULAC prayer, LULAC National Chaplain Hilda Duarte, and please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by Ana Luisa Tapia. Que pase, member of the Veterans Committee.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the LULAC Women's National Conference. If we could bow our heads and bear with me on this prayer that we're going to do. Our country is in a really bad state right now, so we want to keep that in mind. Bow our heads, Almighty God, who has given us this land for our heritage. We humbly beseech thee that we may prove ourselves a people mindful of thy favor and glad to do thy will. Bless our land and honorable industry, sound learning and pure manners. Save us from violence, discord, and confusion, from pride and arrogance, and from every evil way. Defend our liberties and fashion into one united people, the multitudes brought hither out of many kindred tongues. Imbue with the spirit of wisdom those to whom in thy name we trust the authority of government, that they may be just and peace at home, and that through obedience to thy law we may show forth the praise among the nations of the earth. In time of prosperity, fill our hearts with thankfulness. In the day of trouble, suffer not our trust in thee to fail. All of which we ask through your name, Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen. Please remain standing for the pledge.
Buenos tardes. My name is Anthony Noriega. In 1964, at the age of 17, I joined the United States Army, and I served for 3 years. In 1987, I went to work as a federal employee to the United States Air Force. The day that I started working, I bought this flag, and this flag has gone with me to over 21 bases for over 25 years, and it shows. But they asked me if they needed a flag today, so I had the flag because it travels with me everywhere we go. So, to los veteranos, we say, okay, gracias.
Good afternoon. Please join me in the pledge. The flag is always to the right. Always to the right. Always in honor. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All means all.
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you're going to start your meal, but I will ask you un favorcito. Let us keep our conversations at the table quiet, or perhaps after lunch. I ask you this de todo respeto and with a lot of love, porque este programa, this program here, is one of the most important in the entire organization of LULAC. You see, the women of LULAC, since its founding, have been part of that backbone of this organización. So I hope that you will give every speaker, your undivided attention. I thank you so very much. I begin, first of all, by honoring and welcoming the man who is standing right now enfrente, cada día, every day, standing on the front line. He is our national president and chairman of the board of LULAC. I give you Román Palomares.
Buenas tardes. Good afternoon, LULACers. So before we go any further, okay, in our program, I ask you to take a moment to clear your mind, open your heart, and prepare yourself for what you're about to see. We're about to witness a powerful and painful truth, a truth that must be seen, heard, and never forgotten. This afternoon, we honor the memory of 3 courageous Latina service members, Vanessa Guillen, Katia Dueñas, and Angelina Resendiz. These young women answered the call to serve their country with honor. They wore the uniform of the United States with pride, discipline, and courage. But their lives were cut short, not in combat overseas, but here at home, by the very people they served alongside or trusted. Their tragic stories are bound together by an unbearable thread: violence at the hands of fellow service members or individuals who knew them intimately. In each case, The warning signs were ignored. Their voices silenced long before their final moments. They cried out for protection, for justice, and for dignity. As president of LULAC, I cannot and we will not stand by in silence. Military sexual trauma, abuse, and violence are not isolated issues. They are systemic failures that demand accountability and action, and they demand it now. This video is not easy to watch, but it is necessary. We owe it to Vanessa, to Katya, and Angelina, and to every Latina in uniform who wonders if she'll be next. I want you to please pay attention, carefully listen to it, and when it ends, don't let the story stop. Stand with us, speak out, demand change. So now let's take a moment and let's honor their memory. I want to recall, just 1 minute, I want to recall one incident when Domingo Garcia, he stands here. Domingo, we remember when the first incident happened. I just want to take a moment to talk about this. I remember getting a call from the sister of Vanessa Guillen. Domingo was the president. I was his chief of staff, and I got a call on a Saturday from her sister, Myra Guillen, asking LULAC to see what we could do to help. They weren't getting any answers from the military. So I spoke with the president, and I said, they're needing help. What can we do? And of course, Domingo is, he goes all out. I said, no, Domingo, we can't do that. But anyway, Domingo says, you know what, let's put out a press release. And let's tell everybody in America and the mothers of America, don't let your daughters join the military. And we did that on a Monday. And by Tuesday afternoon, he had a call from the Pentagon that says, we need to sit down and talk. You remember that, Domingo? We were requested to come to the Pentagon, and we did. And we met with the Secretary of the Army. And he says, let's sit down and talk. And since that date that we sat down and talked, we probably went to the Pentagon 2 or 3 times. But out of that conversation with them, they led an investigation at the base. We had a couple of ladies that were part of LULAC. They were officers in the military, retired. They were part of that investigation. And out of that came 70 findings that the military has followed up with. So there was changes that came about. And right after that, a senator from New York, I remember Senator Gillibrand calling us and saying, enough is enough, we need your help. Let's see if we can get this bill passed. And that's how the Vanessa Guillen bill came about, because of the actions of our past national president, Domingo Garcia, and the work that we did at the Veterans Committee. I want to recognize Domingo for that work that he did. So with that, let's watch the film, and please observe. Thank you very much.
No mother, ninguna madre debe recibir una llamada como la que recibió Esme Castle. No mother should receive a call like the one that Esme Castle received. And that, what you have just seen, is only a little part of the total story of what has happened and continues to happen each and every day in America. But the woman you're about to hear now, Angelina's mother, has taken this tragedy and she has empowered women all across this nation que se pongan de pie, que hablemos, que gritemos, que demandemos cambio en el gobierno federal. We will not send our children into military service if their safety cannot be assured. That is what LULAC wants. And believe you me, without Latinos in uniform, this will not be the same kind of a country. But our children are not expendable. So please, give your most undivided and respectful attention, se los pido de todo corazón, por la mamá de Angelina Resendiz, la señora Esmeralda Esme Castro. Que pase.
Good afternoon. I was told to introduce her to you. There was a phone call that came, a daughter was missing. Cuando una madre le grita al cielo por su hija, el mundo para. LULAC, we drew the line, we're presente, and we're here with her. Please.
I just want to
All the honor, esta madre se merece.
Thank you. I am very grateful for everything that this organization has done for me. I'm thankful for Larry and his team and all that they've done for me, the mountains they've moved, the places they've been able to position me just so we can talk about this issue. There is a system. There's a system in place and it's broken. And there's no solutions for it. Well, there is solutions for it, but right now, as we stand, accountability is something that does not exist with the military. And it seems like the less we speak about it, the easier it is for them to, let us forget. It's easy to forget. There's so much going on in the world. There's so much going on in our own lives. And it's news one day and it's a memory the next day. But I can't allow that to happen anymore. This is a tragedy. Her loss is a tragedy. It was preventable, absolutely preventable. And it cannot happen again. And if that's all I do for the rest of my life is to work to make sure that this never happens again, that accountability is something that is, like air, right? It's for us. It's available. Then that's what it will be. I love you. I love my daughter. And I love this country and all that it stands for. And I thank you. And that's all I have to say.
Hermanos, hermanas, we are here to declare our child's life should not be narrowed down to a triangle flag given back to us. That flag should be received by that service member when they retire, not when their life gets cut short. We say enough. Can you say her name? Angelina. Angelina. And justice. Gracias.
And from every veteran, you are never alone.
Muchísimas gracias. We're going to take a short break for lunch. A couple of favors. Como pido, no. We have a silent auction going on because, you see, this is how we are able to support the endeavors of helping someone like Esme continue what she is doing. So if you could kindly after you've had a bite to eat, you want to go and see some of the items. They're beautiful, and you can participate in the silent auction. And then I was asked by our National Vice President of Military and Government Affairs, Larry Romo, to do something that we do in every event, but today it's special because of the times we are living in. Damas y caballeros, I want you to please acknowledge the people who are serving you your meal. You see, the people who are feeding America are our people. The people who are caring for our children are our people. The people who are planting the crops and bending over every day to pick up our food are our people. Y que nunca se les olvide that the people who build the homes of America are our people. Los queremos mucho. Que disfruten. We'll be back in a few moments. Again, if you can, thank you to everyone who's going to check out the silent auction. This is to help support the activity that we've been talking about this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, if I can please help you to settle back in your seats and turn your attention to the stage, not because of me, but because of the speakers who are going to follow. Mis amigos, gracias. Gracias. No, ya tienen la ensaladita, el azúcar, no, ya estamos bien programados, ¿no? Thank you again. All right. Please help me welcome a dear friend, someone I've known for many years as a selfless volunteer worker. I remember going by the historic El Mercado one afternoon in the heat of the sun, and there seated at a table registering people to vote, and she's done this every year. No publicity, no attention. She's the one you're about to meet. Mi amiga, la líder de este grupo. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the National Vice President of LULAC for Women, Lupe Torres.
Thank you so much, David, and thank you all. This has been the most wonderful women's luncheon with the mariachis, music, our veterans coming together with us. So thank you, and hope you stay because we have some wonderful women to honor today. So good afternoon, my sisters and brothers for justice. What an honor it is to stand here in the company of women who are themselves history makers, strong, courageous, visionary. Today, we shine the spotlight on women whose lives are etched in the heart of LULAC and the soul of our community. We're deeply honored by the presence of the great Dolores Huerta, a civil rights trailblazer and co-founder of the United Farm Workers, a woman who has spent her life fighting injustice, not just with words, but with action. She has given generations of Latinas the courage to speak, to organize, and to lead. As Dolores reminds us, every woman and every moment is an organizing opportunity. Every person a potential activist. Every minute a chance to change the world. That is the legacy she continues to build, and we are all students of her strength. We also welcome the remarkable Hilda Solis, who rose from grassroots labor advocates to become the first Latina to serve as United States Secretary of Labor. In Washington, she protected workers' rights, championed fair wages, and never forgot where she came from. Today, we serve with heart and honor. On the Los Angeles County Board, she serves and she has continued her hard work in the struggle for fair rights. She has said fighting for what you believe is not always easy, but it's always worth it. Thank you, Hilda, for showing us that power and humility are not mutual exclusive. These extraordinary women have paved the way, and their stories are deeply personal to me, as is the journey I've walked to stand before you today. I come from a little store in San Antonio, Texas. I learned early on, watching my mother behind the counter, that leadership begins with service. Before I ever asked for rights or privileges, I was taught to show up and give back to earn trust. That's what empowered women do. Empowered women are the first to raise their hand to serve, long before they raise it to speak. They are the first to arrive and the last ones to leave. They speak truth, even when the room grows quiet. They carry vision, not just for today, but for generations yet to come. They make room at the table, and if there is no table, they build one. That is why we gather today to honor the women who do the work, often in silence, always with love. The LULAC Women's Conference is more than a gathering. It is a declaration that Latina women are the backbone of our families, the conscience of our communities, and the catalyst for progress. We are mothers, workers, entrepreneurs, wives, advocates, educators, voters, and yes, trailblazers. Yeah. And though we come from different walks of life, each of us has a story. Each of us has overcome something to be here. You know your own struggles. You know the price you've paid, and still you show up. So look around you. These are your sisters. Each greeting, each smile, each saludo is an act of solidarity, an affirmation that we are in this together. We draw strength from our ancestors, our sisters, gathering, our madres, our daughters. We honor them when we lift each other up. We honor them when we make space for others to rise. Because this is our time, and we are not waiting for permission. Let this Hall of Fame luncheon not be about fame, but about purpose. Let us be a reminder that our work matters, that our voices are powerful, that when women lead, communities rise. I am humbled to walk with you. I am honored to serve you. And I believe with all my heart that our journey together is unstoppable. Thank you very much.
Lupe. Ay, mi Lupe. She's a wonderful woman. A teacher called me yesterday and said, I'm trying to get to you. I'm trying to get to California, pero no tengo dinero. No tengo dinero, pero tengo que ir. This teacher, whom we have honored, did not have a place to stay. She didn't have a place to sleep. No tenía que comer. But she was determined to come. Así como dijo Lupe. I don't know how, but she got a ticket. And then I turned to my sisters. Lupe mentioned them. I'm going to honor their privacy, and I'm not going to give you their names, but una dijo, I'll find her a place where she can sleep. Y la otra dijo, we'll find her a way that she can eat. And I want you to know that somewhere in this room right now is that teacher. right here, because that is what the women of LULAC do. That is what the women of LULAC do. And I hope, Lupe, that you will work me out of this job and that next year we got an intelligent, next generation female aquí donde yo estoy. Porque ya es tiempo. Ya es tiempo. Ya es tiempo. The next woman you're going to hear from could not be with us because she runs a budget that is bigger than many cities in America. She is County Supervisor Hilda Solis. But the first time that I met Hilda, man, you know what? Her shoes were sure scuffy and worn out. Y dije, oh, ¿qué pasa? Well, let me tell you qué pasa. To run for public office, as Pastor Emma Lozano knows, to serve gente, se te acaban los zapatos, because you're out there each and every day caminando, tocando puertas, hablando con la gente. You're out there talking to people, and she walked the walk. And I remember that night years ago, where that young woman was about to run for her first elected office, and she made it. Against the odds, Hilda Solis ganó. And lo and behold, she went from there to Congress, then she came back, and still not done, ella dijo, I'm going to serve my community. And today she is one of the most powerful women in America, and you're about to hear from her. Adelante con el video.
Hi, I'm Hilda L. Solis, Chair Pro Tem on the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors representing the 1st District. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to the County of Los Angeles, a county where nearly 50% of residents are Latino. I remember joining the LULAC convention back in 2009 after I had become the Secretary of Labor under President Barack Obama, the first Latina to serve on a presidential cabinet. And since then, LULAC has continued to champion the voices of Latinos and diversity at all levels of government. The County Board of Supervisors plays an integral role in supporting the many Latinos who live here. We oversee a budget of $49 billion and over 117,000 positions. We provide the safety net for our most vulnerable residents, maintaining a thriving park system so that all communities have access to outdoor space. We oversee the libraries to provide learning enrichment for our kids, provide key infrastructure such as roads and waterways, and operate one of the largest hospital systems in the nation. And we run the county fire department. And as the only Latina on the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors, it's my job to make sure that the voices of our comunidad are well represented. It's a responsibility I don't take lightly. And in this role, I have championed policies to improve the lives of Latinos, including by fighting for rent control, supporting Latinos who are experiencing homelessness, expanding mental health access to Latinos, increasing workforce opportunities and small business grants, and expanding access to green spaces and open space. I've also continued to fight for our immigrant communities to ensure everyone who calls LA County home can access the resources that they need to thrive. Unfortunately, these last few months have been incredibly difficult for our immigrant communities. But under my leadership, the county is working to support those impacted by immigration raids, including by providing cash assistance for impacted families and businesses, expanding legal representation, and taking legal action to protect residents' constitutional rights. And I will continue to work to ensure the voices of our comunidad are heard. This year's convention theme, Diverse Roots, Shared Dreams, is an important recognition of the drive that unites our Latino communities. I hope that the theme inspires us to continue fighting together for our workers, our immigrants, and other vulnerable communities. Because now more than ever, we're going to need to lean on each other to find ways to continue elevating the voices of our familia. I look forward to fighting alongside with you to ensure a better future for all Latinos across the United States and especially here in Los Angeles County, as well as neighboring areas. Muchísimas gracias and much success.
¡Que viva Hilda! The Honorable Supervisor. Now you're going to get a chance to be transported into the future. You're going to see it here. Domingo Garcia says The first Latino or Latina president of the United States has already been born. Ya nació. Who knows, you may be about to meet them. Damas y caballeros, I want to welcome two LULAC Research and Policy Fellows under the able direction of Dr. Ray Serrano, who never wants a spotlight. He's standing right over there. Raise your hand, Ray. Ray brings these young minds, and he helps to shape them and give them the opportunity. You're about to meet two of them. The first generation college students. The young man is a former migrant farm worker from a Mexican farm worker family who grew up in the Yakima Valley, the Washington State. Eso! And she is an aspiring diplomat whose family immigrated from Guatemala and settled in South Central Los Angeles. Ladies and gentlemen, un aplauso de todo corazón for Rosalinda, Son-Alvarado, and Ángel Gonzalez.
Good afternoon. My name is Rosalinda Alvarado, and it is an incredible honor to introduce someone who has shaped not only history, but also the way I perceive myself as an aspiring activist. As the first in my family to navigate higher education, I see in her journey a reflection of my own. Proof that our voices matter, and that when we stand together, we can open doors for future generations. As a Latina myself, witnessing her resilience inspires me deeply. Her strength shows what is possible when the odds are stacked against us. Dolores Huerta has gone to jail over 20 times for civil disobedience, which helps us learn that she not only acknowledged the challenges faced by women, especially women of color, but also created spaces where we can thrive, lead, and raise our voices. Because of her, many of us now have the opportunity and confidence to step forward and make a difference in our communities.
Thank you so much for that, Rosalinda. Buenas tardes a todos. Gracias por estar aquí con nosotros. Mi nombre es Ángel González y estoy muy emocionado por poder presentarles a alguien que ha sido una gran inspiración y figura pública para nuestra comunidad latino. As someone who has worked as a farm worker for over 15 years, picking cherries, hauling 12-foot ladders, and enduring the heat, I've lived a life shaped by my upbringing, one that makes it especially meaningful to have the opportunity to introduce someone whose advocacy has transformed the lives of workers like me. I will never forget when I first learned about the United Farm Workers as they came to my small rural town to stand up against the injustices facing my community. That moment was inspiring, and since then, I've been motivated by the history of UFW and the leaders involved, including the one we have today here. So without further ado, everyone please give a warm welcome to the amazing leader, change maker, and activist, Dolores Huerta.
Your convention. As some of you know, I have been with you a few times in the past, but it's always good to be with you in the future, right? Because I know what you're going to be doing during this convention. You're going to be talking about the future, because we know that right now we are actually going to be framing that future, the kind of future that what we want to see. And I know that we're in some dark times right now. We know that the attacks on our Latino community, on our Mexican community, our Central American community is horrendous. Maybe there's a few of us in the room that are as old as I am that have seen this happen before. You know, in the 50s when they had the operation, quote unquote, wetback, remember that? And people were deported. Well, you know that what's different now as some of us will remember, they didn't put people in prisons, no? You know, people were repatriated, they were taken back to the land where they came from, but I don't think any of us have ever seen the kind of cruelty that we are seeing now that our president is bringing down on our people because of the color of their skin, right? Basically, that's what it is, because of the color of their skin. You know, he has somehow got in his brain that he wants to have a white America. We have to remind him this country was brown at the very beginning, right? And that the Europeans, they were the first immigrants, you know? I have one great-grandmother from Spain, one great-grandfather from England, but my dad's family were here to say, welcome to America, okay? Before they got here, definitely. So, and you know, the one thing too I want to say about this dark time that we're in right now, that we have been here before, during the Depression. It was very hard. A lot of people were out of work, you know. But what happened after the Depression? We got a great president, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And what did they do? They put people back to work. This is where Social Security started. This is where welfare programs started. Labor unions got the right to organize. Workers got the right to organize into a union. So out of that dark period, then there was a lot of light, right? A lot of light. And then during the 60s and the 70s, we had this great division in the country where we had people for the war, people against the war. What came out of that? The civil rights movement, the Chicano movement, the LGBTQ movement, the environmental movement, and the women's movement, right? These all came out of that dark time of the 60s and the 70s. So ahorita estamos en otro tiempo oscuro, we can say, another dark time. Maybe darker than we have ever seen before. So let's start preparing for the future, okay? And what do we want in the future? We want Medicare for all, universal health care, right? Universal health care. We want free college education for everybody. We want free daycare for our families. Free daycare for our families. We want the things that they have in Europe and that they've had for many generations. Well, the richest country in the world, well, we know that we are also entitled, and we have to really, really fight to make those things happen. Now, I know today we're celebrating women, as we should. Let's give all the women a big applause, everybody. And you know, we saw, very sadly, we just saw the mothers of some of the women who had been killed in the service, okay? But we know that the sexism against women is every day. So we know that women are all killed often by the people that they love, the people that they know best. And this comes from chauvinism, okay? From sexism. And that continues. And when we think, and we all know that there were a lot of Latinos that voted the wrong way at this election. And and I'm sure you have people in your families or people that you know. And when you ask them, why did you do that? Well, a lot of it is machismo. But also, and this is important, and this is something that all of us have to take very, very seriously, because we have to start organizing for the midterms, you know, for 2026, right, when we can change what's happening right now. And so we have to say to those people that voted the wrong way on the issue of abortion. Now, I'm saying this as a mother of 11 children. I'm saying this as a mother of 11 children. But you know, if somebody else decides that they don't want to have any children, okay, that is their right. That is their right. Yeah, women need to have that right to decide over their own bodies how many children they want to have or don't want to have, okay? And the same thing goes to who you live with, who you love. If that person happens to be of the same sex, whose business is it? It doesn't affect your family. So we have to be the messengers, okay, to change this. I call it fungus that's in people's mind. You know what I mean? This sexism and the racism. And I always like to say, remember Benito Juárez, ¿no? ¿Qué dijo Benito Juárez? El respeto al derecho ajeno es la paz. Respecting other people's rights is peace. So please bring this up with your family, with your neighbors, anybody you know. We have to start changing their minds, and they can be changed. They really can be changed when they understand that this is the only way that we can end the sexism and the homophobia that we have in our community. Because a lot of people, this is what they thought, you know. And you know, I know it's kind of hard. A lot of us were raised Catholics or evangelicals or Baptists or some other religion. And you know what they were all saying? You're going to go to hell, right? Well, you know what? This is hell right now, what we've got in the United States of America. This is hell right now, what they're doing to our immigrant communities right now. And then we also have to do a little bit of confession, because we know we have a lot of racism in our own, entre nosotros, entre los Latinos, right? Don't we often say, when a baby is born, ay, qué bonita la niña, está bien güerita. We have to change that dialogue, okay? That baby is beautiful because está bien prieto, okay? That baby is beautiful because it's dark. So we have to be proud of our indigenous roots, okay? We have to be proud of our indigenous roots. And because we know that racism, like Martin Luther King said, is an illness. It's a sickness that we have in our society. And so we have to remember that we are one human race. And where did our human race come from? Africa. Our human race came from Africa. All of us, our ancestors came from Africa. So I'm going to ask you to do something right now. Take the hand of the person next to you. Take the hand of the person next to you. Take the hand of the person next to you. Turn to that person. Turn to that person and say, hello, African relative. So, just like we're holding hands, we have to hold hands together so that we can defeat the fascism that is happening right now. And we can say to all those white supremacists out there, all those neo-Nazis out there, get over it, you're Africans, okay? Get over it, you're Africans. And you know, we've got to take that feminist road, the feminist path, you know. Feminists are people that care about immigrants' rights. They care about women's rights, you know. They care about education. We have to take that path. You know, Coretta Scott King said that we will never have peace in the world until women take power. I have amended that. I have amended that to say we will never have peace until feminists take power, okay? Because there is a difference. There is a difference. You know, feminists are the ones that are going to stand up there and fight for immigrants' rights and abortion rights and for education, the things that we need for gay rights, okay? These are the feminists. But we know there's a lot of feminist men in this room. Let's give them a big applause, all the feminist men, all right? So we know that our moment has come. LULAC, an organization that you were formed to fight for democracy in the United States of America, fighting the then discrimination against Latinos, you know, the veterans that were coming back from the service. You know, my dad, my brothers, they were in World War II. My great-grandfather was actually in the Civil War on the Union side. And that's what we're in right now. Estamos en una guerra. We are in a fight for our people, like you've seen the devastation in Los Angeles, what people have been going through here. You know, we are in a fight for our people. We're in a fight for democracy. You have always been right there at the front row, you know, fighting for democracy. Well, now more than ever, all of us have come together. We've got to come together. We've got to work together because we know unless we do an awful lot of work, we're going to lose it. Right now, we're in the process of losing our democracy. You know, in Texas, the people from Texas, let's give them an applause, people from Texas, okay? Because they're going through a lot of hell also over there. And we know that one of the problems they have in Texas is that people have a hard time registering to vote. You've got to find a deputy registrar, and you've got to swear the allegiance to the United States of America, and you've got to sign an affidavit. And people can turn in the deputy registrar because they did something wrong, and they can put them in jail, and they have done that. So we know they've got to fight really, really hard in Texas to get rid of that law, like we did here in California way back in the 50s. We got rid of that deputy registration law in California. So we've got to do whatever we can to help Texas out there and what they're going through right now. And I would love to see a Freedom Summer in Texas. We could all go down to Texas and register people to vote and turn that state around. So we did it here in California because we had a governor that was really racist. Remember that, Pete Wilson? And that brought people in California together, and the state has gone purple, and then it went blue, and we've been blue in California ever since. But it was the Latino community, the Black community, the Asian community, the women's movement, okay? The gay movement, we all came together to make California a blue state. Well, we can do the same thing in Texas. We can do that the same thing. We can do the same thing in Idaho and Utah and all of these other places. You know, we know Michigan is right there on the cusp right now. You know, we've got to work really hard because we do not want the fascists to continue to control the United States of America. You know, there's a saying that says, when working people control a government, when workers control a government, that is socialism. When corporations control a government, it is fascism. And we are seeing that now. And what does the word fascism mean? It means to hurt people. That's what the word means. It means to hurt people. And we see that that is happening right now. And I know many of you, like myself, we are praying every single day for the people that they are sending to these horrible prisons, right? The people that pick our food, take care of our children, do the landscaping, work in hospitals and taking care of the elderly and the babies, you know? These are the people that they're putting in prison, and this is horrible, and we cannot let that continue. So, you know, but if we don't work very, very hard between now and the next election, it's going to continue. And so I'm sure that all of you, because you're LULAC, have been out there and doing the door knocking, registering people to vote, and reminding people that we've got to go out there and vote. We've got to continue organizing and set up committee meetings in our neighborhoods. Go out into our neighborhoods. And in every neighborhood, we're going to find people that are unemployed, that they might be partially disabled, but they still have a lot of energy that they can still continue to do the work. You know, so we can change this. We do not want to live under this oligarchs, these billionaires, to control our lives like they're doing right now, or they're trying to do. They're doing it in a big way, but not completely. You know, do you know that we, the United States of America, that we have more people in prison in the United States than any other country? Think about this. We're 300 million. India or China are billions of people, billions, and we have more people in prison, than they do. More people in prison. And one of the reasons that Trump wanted to put immigrants in prison or deport them, because the census, he wants to change the census. He wants to make sure that we're not counted, that Latinos are not counted. He's talking about taking away our birthright citizenship, I mean, he forgets that his wife was also an undocumented person, his own wife, his own kids, So we have to constantly remind him and to make sure that con nuestro trabajo, with the work that we're going to be doing, we're going to be able to end this madness, get rid of this crazy person and his crazy buddies, his crazy friend, so that we can take our country back. We can take our country back, and we can make that happen. But it will only happen if we all work together. And when we feel sometimes we might feel kind of hopeless and kind of sad, just remember the words of Pablo Neruda, the poet. He said this. That's our saying. No, Pablo Neruda said this. You can cut all the flowers, but you can't hold back the spring. Pueden cortar todas las flores, pero no pueden detener la primavera, okay? They can cut all the flowers, but they cannot hold back the spring. And we are the jardineros. We are the gardeners, okay? We're the ones that are going to be spreading the seeds of justice everywhere that we go, so that the flowers, when they come back, they will come back even greater than they were before. Nosotros somos los jardineros. We are the gardeners. We are the keepers of the justice. We are the keepers of democracy. And we can say, yes, sí se puede. But let's all stand up for a minute. You just had your lunch, okay? So some of you know this routine, but just wait for me to answer, okay? So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and I know you know the answers, but I want you to shout the answers so loud that the haters can hear us. We know who they are, no? All those racists out there, sexists out there, homophobes out there, okay? So I'm going to say, ask you two questions. Wait for me. I'm going to ask you, who's got the power? And I want you to say, we've got the power. And I'm going to say, what kind of power? And I want you to say, Latino power, okay? Let's go. Who's got the power? We got the power. What kind of power? Latino power. Okay, let's do one more time. And this time we're going to say LULAC power, okay? Let's go. Who's got the power? We got the power. What kind of power? Okay, are we going to use our LULAC Latino power and African power? Are we going to use that to save our democracy? What do we say? ¿Se puede? Sí, se puede. ¿Se puede? Sí, se puede. Okay, let's all do it with a united hand clap. Let's go. Sí, se puede. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Gracias.
¡Que viva Dolores Huerta! ¡Que viva Dolores Huerta! ¡Que viva Dolores Huerta! Por eso le tienen miedo. That is why she is feared. As much as we love her, there are those who fear her, porque mueve montañas. Mueve montañas, chiquita pero bien picosa, eh? Ladies and gentlemen, my honor now to welcome again Lupe Torres, and with her, a very courageous warrior woman que nunca se agüita. Let me tell you, former president of LULAC, Margaret Moran and Lupe Torres.
Thank you. Oh my God, what an inspirational speech of Dolores Huerta that keeps us going and we cannot have had a better speaker to inspire us today. And now we're here for what we came for, the women's ceremonies for the Women's Hall of Fame inductees. And please stay with us as we present these awards. I want to present President Margaret Moran, who was in charge of the applications, the inductees, put it all together, the staff, the national staff, who ordered the awards and worked very, very hard with us. And at this time, I would like all the members of the Women's Commission to please stand and be recognized because they all worked very, very hard. Please, ladies of the Women's Commission, please stand. Emma, all of you, Marty, Gloria, thank you, thank you. They all helped put this wonderful women's conference together, and now I will move it over, and have Ms. Margaret Moran start the ceremony.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and again, welcome everyone. I hate to see these folks leaving. This is a very, very important event. We are honoring these wonderful women that deserve the honor of being inducted into the LULAC National Women's Hall of Fame. So thank you for staying, thank you for joining us, because it is important for these women. The first honoree that we have is Ms. Ricky Ana Estrada from Arizona. Our next honoree is Elizabeth Deegan from Texas. Our next honoree is Alice Sanchez, who could not attend. I don't know if Ms. Rosales is here, but if not, I will go ahead and accept the award for Alice. The next honoree, Yvette Moran from Texas. Another warrior from the barrios of San Antonio, Texas, Diana Castillo Perez. And a woman most deserving from New Mexico couldn't be here, Josie Marrujo, but accepting on her behalf is Connie Martinez. Okay. Virginia Mitzelman from Texas. These women have many, many, many years of working with LULAC and doing a lot of volunteer work, and it is very, very important to honor them. And I would ask that next February, the nominations for the 2026 women will be announced. The nomination, everything will be on the website. We ask all of you to submit names because we have many, many women throughout the country in Puerto Rico that are deserving. I am the chair of the nominating committee, and all these, along with the committee, review and screen the application. So please, please help us next year, okay? Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ana Valenzuela, and I'm the chair of the silent auction. There's a silent auction in the corner, and thank you very much because, you know, a lot of you have already been participating. We will be closing in about 10 minutes, so it's open right now, and I appreciate it. All this money that goes, you know, the silent auction goes for women's programs. Thank you so much.
Don't leave yet, please. If I could please impose upon you, por favorcito, mis amigos. Se me ha encargado que les mencione that I'm supposed to mention we have a major session that is going to begin at 2 o'clock in room 104. It's on diabetes and healthcare. That disease is killing our community, my friends. My mother suffered the diabetes. I know so many who do. I have been pre-diabetic. So I'm just urging you, please support the sessions. The president of the American Diabetes Association is going to be there. Y otra cosa, if I may, Madam Chair Lupe Torres, the media would like to have an interview with you. We do know about the silent auction. I so appreciate el apoyo que le están dando a eso. Y nada más quiero decirles que esta noche en Telemundo 52, Marcela, gracias de todo corazón. Te he conocido 25 años. Mira, one of the first female Latina women in professional broadcasting in Los Angeles, California, Marcela Navarrete. Marcela, un gran gusto. She's the best. Damas y caballeros, gracias por venir. Madam Chair, I hope I have done you guys okay. ¿Algo más? Okay. Se acabó el baile, pero adelante hasta la cima y la victoria. Los quiero mucho. Buenas tardes.
Muchísimas gracias, señor Cruz, por ser el hombre que siempre nos ayuda a las mujeres.
Thank you. Bye-bye.